Hey, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Hello Neighbor, and today there is some cool news on the game. So yesterday, the developers of the game just posted a video on their YouTube channel with plans for a bunch of updates, massive changes, huge news. You can check it out in the description below if you're interested in watching it. But I'm going to talk about everything he talked about in this video that I'm doing right now, as well as talk about important things and do a bit of speculation, do some freeze frames, and probably check out some of the things that we're going to see in this video, because there's some interesting stuff that I think is worth knowing. So everything we've seen apparently in the previous pre-alpha and the current build, which they call Alpha 1, will not be in the final game. None of this will be in the final game. The concepts are there, the proofs of concepts for the gameplay. That's what we're going to see in the final game. However, like all these houses and the setup and everything, the design, that's not going to be there. This is all changing. And it's very, very interesting. They took the things that people liked from the pre-alpha and implemented those things into Alpha 1, which is the one that you can test and buy now. And then that's going to change into this Alpha 2. And essentially the people who bought the game will get 2 more builds this year. He said that one of the updates is coming at the end of November, and one's coming in December. And there's several updates early next year as well that are leading up to the full launch of the game. And so I already have videos planned this week for things, for different things that I found in the game that we'll talk about, because I think they're interesting enough to make the videos on. But I wanted to make this video right away because this news just came out and it's very important, and I think there's some things in here that are really cool. So the first build that is coming at the end of November will include this finalized art style where you can like see your hands and everything, and the stuff that you see in the video right now. And what the dev apparently showed at TwitchCon was like the hand thing and some other art style. And the biggest thing is that the house is completely changing. Not once, but then twice on the second update. So the house is completely changing from what we've seen in the current build, although it will have 2 floors, but it won't be nearly as huge as the one in the current build. The level for the update, so the next update, that level will be easily beaten. He said you can solve it very easily, but it will lead to the basement that is actually playable somewhat, and it's essentially the basement gameplay that he showed in the trailer, which we'll see right now. So this trailer essentially shows you in the guy's house, and it shows you getting caught. And then what happens is you run through this huge metal door, down a long flight of stairs, candles along the way and stuff. It's very creepy looking, and you run into the basement where there's a bunch of candles on the ground, and there's like some cult-like things going on. Not entirely too sure, but it looks interesting, and there's a bunch of things in there that you could totally speculate on. And I mean, it's weird, but that's essentially where it's leading. And that too will be playable, which we'll talk about right now. So they don't want to spoil the story of the game. They don't want to spoil it at all, and so they're going to keep most of that out of this coming build and probably the next one. I'm assuming we will get some clues to things though, because they like leaving clues, and that's what some of the stuff in the videos for this week that I've already done will kind of talk about and address. But the other build that's coming in December, that will be the first draft of the final house, which apparently is massive, because essentially what they wanted to do is they're like, how do we get a sandbox game? How do we get a whole game in one location? And so in order to do that, it's got to be massive. So it's been redesigned multiple times apparently, and will have some really hardcore puzzles. He was like, should we do these hardcore puzzles or shouldn't we? And like they did that in like the Alpha 1 build with like the teacher's mannequin up to the classroom and solving the puzzles and getting the gun and doing all these things. And they didn't think anybody was going to solve that, but people did like right away. So the game will play mostly, as I said, as a sandbox, which will happen in the house, but there will be multiple ways of solving the puzzles, and the house will also have a basement that is completely playable. And that right there, he said, is one of the biggest things, the spoilers that he doesn't want to reveal. It'll have a lot of mysteries to it. So with that being said, that's pretty much everything that he talked about in the video. Now, what I thought we could do is go through the video and talk about some of the things we see that I think are going to be very important. Okay, so it starts off, you're in front of the house, there's this car, it's like crashed through a fence. The art style is totally different. There's houses really close by, there's a shed in the backyard, the windows are different, the base, everything's different about the house. There's a ladder on the back of the house, you can jump in the window. The house is completely different layout, there's multiple rooms, board on the front door, you can peep through the peek hole and see where he is. It's just, there's a lot of different things from what we've seen. There's the gun on the wall, there's the teddy bear. So you come upstairs here and there's a bird here that quawks, and then he picks up this thing, which is some weird little device. He hops up on the banister, waits for the neighbor to run up the stairs to see what the bird's chirping at, runs through this room. He's got this weird device with him, and then he runs out the window. Now, the interesting thing is, like, it looks like it's some kind of electromagnet type of thing, and I think he uses it. Does he use it? Yeah, he uses it to get like a lockpick. But maybe there's other things that you can pick up as well. But it's just interesting that there's something like that in the game that you can like grab stuff with. So this is the concept art of the house. It's just massive, and he's like he's showing it and talking about the sandbox aspect of things, and it's just very interesting that there are so many various like ways to solve these puzzles, and I'm not entirely sure like if he shows a lot of them in this video, but you see he's like unlocking there, he's going into a little storage garage looking like area to get a crowbar or like a jimmy like thing, you know, and this is what I'm assuming he uses to get into the basement door. Now another thing is that I don't think we see the basement door at all. And there's a camera there, which I didn't see the first time, that must have spotted him. In here, there are like these little firework boxes that he lights on fire as the neighbor's coming at him, and it like triggers the neighbor, and he like gets blinded. And so it's kind of like a little flashbang that you can maybe use to like run away. And there's a whole bunch of them up there, as you see. And so you could do that multiple times probably. And it's just like, okay, what happened there with the bird? I can't remember what he was talking about. The bird's coming up. He's trying to get these off of the door to go inside this door, and I think the neighbor comes back up and he lights the box again on fire, which gives him enough time to run into the door, and he gets this key card from this bedroom. The neighbor's coming in here, and so he's going to hide in the closet, because really, how do you get out of this room once you're in it? And also, it would be interesting if oh, the neighbor saw him. There he is. Okay, so it'd be interesting if the neighbor and you took fall damage, so you couldn't jump out of windows, because that seems like a very easy way to like get out of dodge. But in all reality, it's not that realistic. So now he's got this key card. He's going back to the house, and the neighbor's still in the room that he needs to get to. And so the key card is used to get into the basement, and it's not what we. I don't think it is. It is what we see, but the art style is different from what we see in the trailer. So the neighbor's there, and so what he has to do is he needs to go outside and turn the power off to trigger the TV to go off. And I mean, there's so many things, like the guns on the wall there, the paintings are all over, and so it's like interesting, like are we there's like the coffin there. Are we able to see all these different things, like different parts of the puzzle that we don't actually know are puzzles yet, because we haven't been a part of the build yet, we haven't got to experiment. It's just very interesting. And so he's going to wait a little bit. The neighbor's going to run out the front door. He took the board off. He's running out the front door. He's coming up here. He's putting the key card in. He's going to pop the nails or whatever off the door, and he's going to get access to the basement. So very simple puzzle. I mean, that was a couple steps, and then when he got caught, he started with the key card again. So there you go. That's what he posted. It's very interesting. There's not a lot to it, but there's some good information there that I'm really excited to look at. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe if you want more Hello Neighbor, because there's going to be a lot more coming. I'll see you guys in the next one.